Welcome to Beyond the Rituals. This is episode 5 in our series, Exploring Hindu Death Traditions. Today, we'll examine what Hindu philosophy actually teaches about what happens after death. 1. According to Hindu philosophy, what primarily determines what happens to the soul after death? Answer. Core Hindu texts are consistent on this point. What determines the soul's journey is karma, the sum of one's actions, intentions, and consciousness, not rituals performed by others. The Bhagavad Gita states in chapter 8, verse 6, "Whatever state of being one remembers when quitting the body, that state one will attain without fail." This emphasizes consciousness at death and one's accumulated life impressions, not funeral ceremonies. 2. Does the Bhagavad Gita mention the necessity of death rituals for the soul's journey? Answer. The Gita, Hinduism's most authoritative philosophical text, contains no statement that the soul's journey depends on rituals performed by others. Krishna's extensive teachings to Arjuna about death and rebirth focus entirely on the individual's consciousness, actions, and spiritual understanding, not on ceremonies performed afterward by family members. 3. What do the Upanishads say about death rituals? Answer. The Upanishads, which form the philosophical foundation of Hinduism, focus on self-knowledge and understanding the true nature of the soul, Atman, and its relationship to universal consciousness, Brahman. The Katha Upanishad, which specifically addresses death through Nachiketa's conversation with Yama, emphasizes spiritual knowledge rather than ritual performance. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad describes the soul's journey as following the path created by its own knowledge and karma. 4. How does Advaita Vedanta view death rituals? Answer. Adi Shankaracharya, the foundational teacher of Advaita Vedanta, taught that liberation comes through knowledge of one's true nature, not through rituals. While acknowledging that rituals have preliminary value for purifying the mind, Shankara was explicit that they cannot lead to moksha, liberation. From the Advaita perspective, the ultimate reality of the soul transcends the entire cycle of birth and death, making rituals secondary to spiritual realization. 5. Is there a logical contradiction in believing rituals determine the soul's fate? Answer. Yes. If the immutable law of karma determines our experiences based on our actions, how could rituals performed by others override this fundamental principle? If rituals could override karma, the entire philosophical foundation of Hinduism would be undermined. The logical conclusion is that rituals may assist the soul's journey but cannot fundamentally alter its karmic direction. 6. What happens to those who lived virtuous lives but didn't receive proper funeral rites? Answer. According to core Hindu philosophical texts, those who lived according to dharma proceed on their journey guided by their positive karma regardless of rituals performed. The Bhagavad Gita states that those who lived righteously attain higher realms according to their karma and spiritual development. Many texts explicitly state that virtuous souls naturally travel to appropriate realms based on their actions during life. 7. What about those who attained spiritual knowledge but didn't receive traditional ceremonies? Answer. For those with spiritual realization, funeral rituals are considered unnecessary. The Brahma Sutras and various Upanishads teach that those who have attained self-knowledge transcend the ordinary process of death entirely. This is acknowledged even in ritual-focused texts, which typically exempt yogis, saints, and the spiritually realized from standard ceremonial requirements. 8. What if circumstances make traditional rituals impossible? Answer. Hindu tradition has always recognized the principle of adapting to circumstances, apadharma. Even traditional texts offer alternatives when conventional ceremonies aren't possible due to location, resources, or other constraints. Simplified ceremonies, mental performance of rituals, charitable acts in the deceased's name, or sincere prayers all have recognized validity within the tradition. 9. How do different Hindu spiritual paths view death rituals? Answer. While some traditions emphasize ritual precision, others focus on different approaches. Bhakti traditions emphasize devotion as the primary path, with saints like Tulsidas teaching that sincere devotion transcends ritual requirements. Janana traditions focus on knowledge and understanding. Karma yoga emphasizes selfless action. Even within ritual-focused traditions, ceremonies often focus more on their symbolic meaning than literal effects. In our next episode, we'll address specific myths and practical questions about death rituals to help clarify what's essential versus what's cultural addition. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Rituals.